Hey everybody, welcome to day 31 of my mental health journey. For those of you who aren't aware, basically I document my day-to-day struggles with mental health, mainly anxiety, just to connect with folks who might be going through the same stuff, as well as using this platform as a way for folks for whom I can't speak to share their stories and hopefully connect with more people in the process. So I know I've kind of been slacking on making videos recently. Last weekend, I was in New Hampshire doing some hiking, which was incredible. And then now I'm in Pennsylvania, out in the countryside, which has also been incredible and super therapeutic. But I'm still going to be making videos and whatnot. I just needed a little time off to kind of regather my thoughts, figure out where I wanted to go directionally speaking. And today I just want to talk about the problems associated with taking yourself too seriously. And I'm going to speak basically all about myself. But I damn well know that there's a million and one people out there that, are taking themselves too seriously. Even if people externally can't tell, you can kind of tell. You can lie to other people. You can't lie to yourself though. And that's just how it goes. But basically I've spent a lot of my life, for whatever reason, just kind of stifling like my idiosyncrasies and whatnot, the stuff that makes me weird. Like, I'm a weird kid. Like, I might not look it, but I'm just a weird person. I don't really feel like breaking down like why I feel that way, but if you ask anyone who truly knows me, they'll say the same thing. Like, I'm very energetic. I love to just like say random stuff like with no meaning just because I think it's funny, or I'm trying to like get under someone's skin, not maliciously or anything. But I spent a lot of my life just kind of hyper aware that I was like weird. And it was something that I should have embraced, because my weirdness has really allowed me to connect with pretty much all walks of life. Like, I'm the type of person that will strike up the conversation with like somebody who's completely different than me. And I won't think twice about it. I don't feel weird because their life is different than mine. Like, I'm weird too, and like I love to just meet and connect with people of all different backgrounds. I think that honestly makes life so much better. But basically I spent a lot of my time stifling that weirdness and like that creativity and stuff. Like, I love making music, I love drawing, I love using the Spanish language, like all creative stuff. And I think that's one reason why I love Spanish so much, is because culturally speaking, Latin America and Spain are very warm. And I grew up a lot like taking myself too seriously and being very like stiff and rigid, and exposing myself more to that culture where people embrace each other, they kiss each other on the cheek when you meet somebody. Like, that's just unheard of in the US. And on top of that, like for me, it's even more unheard of because I felt just like so distant from a lot of people. And I definitely think it was because I took myself too seriously. And even like some of the people, like when I was living in Argentina, they'd be like, "Clark, why you got that face on? Like, is everything good?" And I'm like, well, I guess I just have like the male resting bitch face. But like on top of that, they probably saw me kind of just like tensing up a bit. And they were just curious why. And then I started asking myself the same question, like, why am I tense? Like, I have no reason to be tense. And I do have anxiety and whatnot, but I thought I think it was more than that. Like, it was my desire not to rock the boat, or to like, I don't know, give somebody like a less than neutral or positive idea about me. Like, I love rap music, for example. I know a lot of people don't like it. So a lot of times, like if I'm in a car with them, like I'll be the diplomat and we can just play some neutral music, or I'll just like listen to your music because I don't really feel like it. And like sometimes like I'd be like embarrassed if like, they're like, this sucks or whatever, because I take music like seriously. Like, I love music, and I love when people share music with me, and I love when I share like a good song with someone and they like it. So, but just stuff like that, take myself too seriously. Like, who cares if they don't like the music I like? This is my life at the end of the day. And like, you're in my damn car. Like, you can listen to what I want to listen to. And if you don't like it, you can hop out. Like, it's all good. I was just worried about like rocking the boat, or like, them judging me or something. Cause I don't listen to country. I'm white and I don't listen to country music. Like, that's just my preference. And I don't know why I took myself seriously to the point where I'd be like, nervous, or not even nervous, but just like embarrassed, or not wanting conflict or something. Like, there's no conflict behind that. Like, if they're your friend and they just don't like the music, they'll just keep quiet. Like, I'll let my friends play. Like, my friends don't really listen to country music, but like their fiancés do, and like it's kind of bled into their lives. Shout out to all of them. I love you guys, but I don't like that music. But I'm not gonna be in the car like tripping out because they're playing something that they like. Like, if anything, it like inspired me to just play the music I like and not care. Like, I just like felt very stiff. Like, and that's like for more than just that. It would be like expressing my actual feelings. It would be like participating in a class or something, like when I was younger. Like, because not that I was afraid to make the wrong answer, but I don't know. I didn't like, if I knew a lot about a topic, for example, and like I'm a huge nerd, and like I love to geek out about stuff. And I would just be like, well, I shouldn't geek out about it in this class because not everybody, is as excited about it. And like, the teacher might be like, well, you're just like wasting time. Like, I have more curriculum that I want to touch upon and everything. But I just like had all those thoughts in my head and taking myself too seriously. Like, I don't want to be in a position of vulnerability because people are like, can this kid just shut the hell up? And like, can we continue with the lesson? Like, I should have just been like, no, fool, you shut the hell up. Like, this is my time to shine, and I'm going to take that torch and run with it. But that was just stuff I didn't really do back then. And I feel like up until recently, I've definitely changed that. And it's been something that is like, the first word that comes to mind is liberating, because I feel like I can just truly be myself, and I can allow like all my things that interest me to come to the forefront. I don't have to like bury them and be like, well, it's kind of weird that, I like to produce music, or it's kind of weird that, I'm super into like reading books, like fantasy books and stuff like that. Like, who cares if I'm a nerd? I have a very like, my background and my interests range like so dramatically that like, just because I read fantasy books doesn't mean I can't go to the gym and kick some ass with the weights. Like, I just like thought that all these like little things that I did, like some of them had to be like propped up, like, sports and everything. Cause like, if you're a dude, like, you want to impress the girls and you want to impress the guys. So you're, gotta do like the macho thing or whatever, the sports, which I love. And I don't think sports are like macho or anything, but I'm just giving you an example. I never really touted upon the fact that like, I love like academics, and I love art, and I love, just more like what you wouldn't necessarily consider aggressive stuff. Like, I can be aggressive, but I'd much prefer to be a diplomat, and I'd much prefer to like have art and all that cool stuff in my life, and knowledge. Like, it doesn't all have to be about like, how many girls you bag, or how many like points you score in the basketball game, like the pickup basketball game. Like, all that stuff, like, I felt like I had to just focus on because it was like what society like expected from me, and what like I internalized as expecting from myself, even though it like didn't make me happy. But recently, like, now that I've stopped taking myself so seriously and like forced myself into a mold, instead I've just broken out of said mold, I feel like I can truly live, because I don't care about like expectations of me. I care about my own expectations, which aren't really being affected the way that they used to be, because I'm, expecting stuff of myself. And the first expectation is to not care about what other people think, and to allow myself to grow the way that I was destined to grow. But, it took a long time to reach that point. Obviously, as I've described you, all the insecurities that I kind of had like earlier, and just not allowing myself to be. But I highly encourage other folks to, if they're going through what I went through, and it's not like I went through it and now I'm clear. Like, it's an everyday thing where you have to remind yourself, do you really care about like what another person thinks, or do you actually care about like what is going to make you better and what you love doing? And like, even if someone else thinks it's weird or whatever, like, who cares? But like, it took a long time and like a lot of self-doubt and everything to get to this point. So I just hope that if there's anyone who's still kind of going through it like the way that I used to be going through it, I hope that you can see this video and understand that at the end of the day, you're like, what you love matters, and you don't need to take yourself seriously. You can let yourself be and let yourself flow, and that's when you're going to meet all the people that you want to meet, not the people that you think you have to meet. And you're going to do the stuff that you want to do, and not necessarily all the stuff you think you have to do. And I feel like I did that a lot for work. I just kind of went to like random jobs because I just wanted to check, but I never thought like, and it was because like having a job like fits the mold. Like it makes me look like, you know, I got everything going and whatnot. In reality, like a lot of those jobs I hated. And it was just a very external type thing, but like internally I was not doing so well because I wasn't allowing myself to like break free of that mold and really think critically about what makes me happy. And I feel like I've gotten much better at doing that because I've been able to reflect and break through. But I just hope that you guys are able to take something from this video. It's something that I've been working on for a long time, and I finally feel like I'm starting to break that mold and feel like I'm moving in the right direction. And ironically feel younger now than I did like 10 years ago, like significantly younger and even more significantly happier. But it's a mental health game, and you really need to know yourself. And the only way that you can know yourself is if you stop taking yourself so seriously. That's when you really start living. So anyway, guys, I'll post this later tonight. I'll post it on the podcast and on YouTube. I just want to shout out everybody who's reached out recently. I won't name any names out of respect for privacy and whatnot, but I've gotten some messages from folks that have said they're going through similar stuff and they really appreciate it. And I just want to say I appreciate you guys for being brave enough to admit that to me, and being, you know, smart enough and analytical enough to understand that you're going through something and you want to make a change. And now it's time to make that change. And I fully support all of the folks that are working every day to make themselves better. I support the folks that are, you know, still in that process of discovering why they're unhappy. And then from that point, they can start making the changes to make their lives better. Anyway, guys, love you. I will post this later tonight, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. It's a beautiful Wednesday.